sky. Tele-Viper in the flight pod, a cobra force like no other, spreading fear. Shaking the side of my shades on, I scan the airwaves, I receive it all. Communications officer, transmitting Cobra's call. Wolf of chaos, trouble's my middle name. In the trouble bubble, I bring them off this day, flying fearless, soaring through the clouds above. Cobra's secret weapon spreading mayhem without any love. The ultimate red versus blue, but it sure isn't anything new. Cobra broke out onto the scene. G.I. Joe reported for duty unseen. Yo, Joe is the Joe's battle cry. Red is their choice of lasers to fry. Pouring up in the APC, smoking down all enemies they can see. Cobra, they yell and shout. Blue is the gleam in their beams, laying waste with their hysterics, cutting right through our dreams. Lose the sight. Yo, Joe, Cobra, red or blue, it's up to you. Cobra is out there, slithering around in the dark, but G.I. Joe is there. The show Cobra, we have the spark. You decide. Yo, Joe, it's up to you. Yo, Joe, listen up, I got a story to tell about a guy named Logan. He's so swell, he's the G.I. Joe gamer. Cool and weird, dropping off his characters, heroes and villains, and midnight we shout. Yo, Joe, or Cobra, trucking up to teen and a Cobra tie. Joe's got snake eyes, a silent ninja in black. Quick with his swords, he'll give you a heart attack. Then there's two believers, so bold, gung-ho, always ready to fight and make those cameos. And we can't forget about Scarlet, the ultimate girl power. A fierce warrior, she'll make her enemies cower. Cobra's got Destro to supply the weapons. Cobra command plots and schemes, to ruling the world in his dreams. Sartan is never what he seems, and Baroness spots that black leather outfit, shoots you quick and slipped out the back of the head. Yo, Joe, Cobra, go. Logan's here to give his G.I. Joe taste. Oh yeah, yo, Joe, Cobra off the characters, it's a G.I. Joe thing.
Warning. From the hilt cautions that mature content may ensue during this video that includes foul language, possible adult situations, violent implications, and perhaps a little something something. Wink wink. Nudge nudge. A little racy even. Keep in mind that it's all in good fun. Now that we've gotten all prim and proper, please enjoy the show.
I navigate the chaos, my fingers on the controls. The trouble bubble, a sight that unfolds with a wicked.
Greetings, I'm Logan, the G.I. Joe gamer. Get my camera on here. Hello, how you doing? Welcome to Joe Takes 48. This is going to be Tele-Viper with Flight Pod from the Hill. Now, this is a troop builder, so there's not a lot of character background because there's so many different Tele-Vipers. I'm going to show you a bunch of vintage toys and some classified stuff, and look at some file cards. And we're going to just take a look at these two toys. Well, more than two, but two different types. We've got the Flight Pod and we've got the Tele-Viper. So let's start with the file card because let's do that. And I think it's maybe a little too loud, so I'll put it down just a bit. I want to be yelling over it. Now this is the Tele-Viper's original file card. I'm going to go ahead and read that, and you can read along if you like. So I'll just cut the music all together while I read. Tele-Viper, Cobra's Communications, is file name classified, primary military specialty communications, secondary military specialty electronics, birthplace, various countries. These are the RTOs, radio telecommunication operators of the Cobra Ground Forces. Now, I'm actually reading from the updated file card that has a gray background, and I'll show it to you in just a minute. But this is the original file card that I have on the screen, so it may vary just a little bit, but I don't think it does. They carry a standard modular radio pack that contains as a main unit a VHF transceiver equipped with automatic frequency hopper, a crypto unit and passive jamming and anti-jamming devices. The Tele-Viper helmet contains high-resolution earphones with overload dampers and 2 sets of voice-actuated microphones. The interior of the helmet offers an alternate LED readout triggered through the optional computer pack. Optional transmission modes include microwave beam and laser, both available as add-ons to the basic pack. I always thought that was really cool about Tele-Viper. Let me get the music back on. I'm reading. And let me get this off the screen so you can see me, and I'll show you the difference. This is where they came out in 1986. They changed the color of the background on the file card. This is the particular file card that I have. I actually just acquired this with a new Tele-Viper, which I'll be showing you in just a minute. It also came with the original card back, which they cut the card off from the bottom like this. It actually might. No, they clipped it up really nice. So as you can see, it pretty much lines up there. I'm going the right direction. So that's where this came from. And of course, on the back, it had all the cross-sell figures. I love these little cards, these little portraits. I used to actually clip these out, and before I had a lot of Joe, I used to play G.I. Joe with these little dinky little pieces. But I was a teenager, did weird stuff. Now I do have the blueprints as well, and I'm going to unfold you and show the ones I got with the Flight Pod and Tele-Viper that I actually purchased. Did not purchase them together. I purchased them separately because that's the way they were originally sold. So on eBay, that's how I got them. Now what we got here is, if I can actually get this on the screen to where you can see it. This is a blueprint, and I'm actually going to give you a better look, but I wanted to show you my original ones. I never actually had the Flight Pod as a teenager. And of course, you have the instructions and the sticker placement on the back, which I always thought was really cool with the original G.I. Joes. They give you blueprints for the vehicles and file cards for the Joes. That's not something they do much anymore, but that's where we're at with it. But let me show you the blueprints. Now this, I couldn't get a clean shot. I should have scanned these. I should have thought about it beforehand. And next time I do a vehicle, I'm going to try to do that. Scan a vehicle, a blueprint, so if I have them, and so I can show them on the screen a little bit better than this. But just to give you an idea, that's a cleaner looking picture than my shaky hands and the original blueprints. But so that's these. I'm going to get them out of the way so I can start looking at figures. But see, the cool part is I've got all my stuff set up here. So let me do this again. This song actually is pretty loud, I guess. There we go. Background music, sir. So I have actually my second camera set up, and I'm going to just switch over here, turn on this light so we can see better, and I will give you a look at the Tele-Viper. Now he came with its radio communication gun or camera. It was actually kind of used for all sorts of things. It had a microwave emitter, so he could probably burn somebody with it. A little backpack with the antenna, the VHF receiver right there. Now, I like the original design without sleeves. Now, the classified figure has sleeves, but I'm glad they did it that way on the classified. Now, I'll talk about that when I look at the classified. But let me back it up a little bit. The light may be too bright. You get a good look. But I do have 3 Tele-Vipers. Now, my older ones, the ones I originally had, I just picked this one up not too long ago. But I also have the Python Tele-Viper from 1988. Maybe. Now that's better. Oh, okay. We'll try this again without that bright light. Okay. Now, I like the coloration on the Python Tele-Viper. It's pretty cool. Let me see if I can give you a better look at the Tele-Viper. Now, I'll get into the characters in a bit, but I want to look at the vintage stuff first. Now, this is a drone that came with the original flight pod, which I'm going to call Trouble Bubbles from here on in because that's what everybody calls them. I thought this was a neat design for the original flight pod. Like I said, I didn't have any until I got to the modern line in the 25th anniversary. And I actually have a couple of these, but I couldn't locate my other one. I have probably about 15 bins of vehicles, so I got a couple of them back there, but you can't really see them. But here's the original flight pod. Yeah, let me see if I can get it on the middle of the screen. And the figure would sit there and grab onto the controls here. And then have the jets in the back, and these fan blades would actually move back and forth. It was pretty cool. This was actually a very interesting design. It had missiles on the side, the gun in the front. This would move back and forth. That was about all the movement you would get with it. The missiles. So the modern one added some things. It added these hoses and whatnot to the sides. And, it kind of makes more sense because where's the ammo coming from? Or if it's lasers, where's the laser power coming from? Other than just in here. And that it actually moves back and forth a little. It's a little tighter, but in my opinion, better. Now, the jets still do the same, and these fan blades were a little bigger. I wish I had my other example because it's a lighter color, but this is what I got with a Elite Viper in the Rise of Cobra line, which that's a really cool trouble. I have one that came with a big old 5-pack that included Cobra Commander, and so that one actually came with Cobra Commander's personal flight pod in that set. Now, that's my vintage figures. So I'm actually going to compare this drone. I almost forgot. This right here, if you lower this a little bit and move the pipe pod up, this actually sits right in here. And the backpack hole connects like that. And this is actually how I display it without a figure in it. And there's a little peg that it goes right into. And it actually sits in there, and that's supposed to actually fly the flight pod without the Tele-Viper or anybody else in it. So the flight pod can actually fly itself as a giant drone, which I always thought was a really neat design for the original. And I never even realized that until years later, of course, as an adult. But when they brought out the classified, I'm going to look at some the box art and stuff before I really look at them. They made these smaller instead of bigger. So if you have the two next to each other, as you can see, these things are so much smaller than the original. It does not serve the same purpose at all. They just have them as mini drones. And yeah, that was the downside to this design. You had to really get it in there good for it to stay very well. But this is really old. This is from 1985. I'm pretty sure. Same year the Tele-Viper came out. Because the box art for it is the Tele-Viper. I can show you that. I have the box art right here for you to take a look at for the Tele-Viper with a Tele-Viper right next to it. They were sold separately originally, but that's how it rolls. That's how it was back then. So originally they had the flight pod, but the picture, this is a cleaner, nicer image, and it has the little. This is for the actual classified, and you can tell because that drone is so much smaller. And this is a newer pic of the Tele-Viper, which I really like, but it's basically a better version of the original card art, which I actually will have on the video at the end for all Joe Takes 48. Now, let's take a look at. I'm going to switch cameras here so I can show these up close. And they came with these really cool foot lockers for a while. And I'll give you a better look here. This is the classified box art for the Tele-Viper with flight pod. Tele-Viper and Cobra flight pod. It actually says Trouble Bubble on the box, which is nice. Then it has him on the side, which I actually should have scanned these. I don't know why I didn't think of it, but we didn't have a scanner for a while. We just got one recently again that I had access to, and so my wife has one now, so that's cool. And on this side it has the number 79, which is the number of the classified series that this Tele-Viper and flight pod is. And like I said, it came with this really cool. It came a lot of. I don't know why they stopped making these, because when they did the windowless box art, they had added this nice feature of these foot lockers, which you can store all the accessories in. Now this is a bigger box than normal for all the Tele-Viper accessories. It has these little dividers and stuff, so you can put all the little accessories in there. And I'm going to do that as I look at these. Since we're already on this Tele-Viper, I do have the Python version too, and we'll take a look at both. Now it came with an African American head, a pilot head, or you could say this was a Battle Android Trooper version of the Tele-Viper with this helmet, which is what I like to say, but it also could just be a flight helmet for in the flight pod. Here's the classified Tele-Viper. I actually acquired this one after the Python Tele-Viper because this one I had to get through Hasbro Pulse, and the other one I actually bought in the Target store quite a bit before. So that's where we're at with it. So I'm going to put these heads back in the box in this little section. I'm also going to put this little drone away. You know, I don't know why they did this, because it defeated the purpose. So I'll show you on the flight pod. I'm going to actually show this off on the camera a little bit better in a bit, but this cannot go in here and pilot this thing. They had no way of clipping it in here, which I don't know if they realized that was one of the purposes of this. But because they just made this sneaky little drone that flies around. But yeah. Tele-Viper does have the. I'm going to show it on the other camera, but I just wanted to show off this box and the foot locker. I like the foot locker idea. And here is the interior box with the box art in black and white, and I like these a lot, so I definitely wanted to show these off. Whenever I have them and I can show them to you, I'm going to, because they're pretty cool. I'll put that behind Python Tele-Viper, and we'll just keep it rolling. This is the Python Tele-Viper version, and it's a little bit different art, but in black and white you can't really tell, but it's the Python Tele-Viper. And here's the Python Tele-Viper box art. I'm looking at the back. He's number 98 in the series. Really cool box art. And I'm going to put them side by side so you can see the difference in the artwork. And it's definitely a different picture, which is really cool. I like that. So it comes in these really nice boxes, same size. And then, of course, you have that on the side. And the artwork, the picture on the front is actually not too bad. I do like the ziggurat in the background for the Python Tele-Viper. And for the regular version, they have just mountains and scenery, which is really cool too, and a bunch of other trouble bubbles in the background. So there's the box art and the foot lockers. I do have Python Tele-Viper foot locker, and as I show you the accessories, I'm going to put them away. And it's the same design and everything, so it has the dividers and everything in there. So I'm going to put those up so you can see that. All right, let's see what we got going on. We have a comment. Hey, Kenneth Bird, how you doing? It is good to see you. I meant to say hi to Cool Gamer. Said hi to him in the chat. But if you're sticking around, if you're still around, buddy, hi. Well, nice to see you, Kenneth. I'm just doing a Joe take today with Tele-Viper and Flight Pod. So I'm going to actually be moving to the other camera so you get a closer look here in just a second. But Nick came with the same two heads, and I wanted to show close up how just a little bit of difference in the heads. It's all just coloration, but it's the same heads, and they do snap on. It's the same figure, so just different color. So it's nice to take a look at it. And it came with one of those dumb little black drones. I wish it was full size compared to the vintage, which as you can see is I've got it in the pilot seat because and the original one could be used as a drone. And these ones are so much smaller. I thought it was ridiculous that they didn't make these big enough to fit in the flight pod and be used as a drone, turning the flight pod itself into its own drone, which could be piloted remotely, which they made it so it can't really be piloted remotely anymore. So, all right, so that's the box art, all the accessories. I'm going to put Python Tele-Viper's backpack. I want to show you this too because it was pretty cool. But same design on the other one. The camera gun can actually snap right onto the backpack, so you can carry it. The only bad thing is when you put him in the flight pod, you can't have his backpack on because it's too big. So I'm gonna put that in here. I will be putting all these away after my live stream here. Now, near the end, I'm gonna doing a lot of stuff. I'm gonna be showing off a bit more content today. Also, before I continue, I want to give a shout out to the Spinetix train, which starts at, it should be pinned up here at the top. It starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 5:30 Mountain was my time, so it'll be 4:30 Pacific. For those of you who are going to watch Spinetix, which would be 8 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Mountain. Spinetix comes on at 11. I have it at the bottom. And the Spinetix train starts with Melodope Live at 8 p.m. Eastern, so all the times I'm going to give you are Eastern. Then you go into Jay's Mix. Melodope is at 7:30 p.m. I'm sorry, Eastern. 8 p.m. For Jay's Mix, 9 p.m. for Center Hill Cards, 9:30 for Boyd, who's got he's a really cool artist. And then you've got 10 p.m. you got Brian's Basketballs, and at 10:30 you've got Mr. Mayor Munch, 23 Munch, who schedules the Spinetix train. Hello, Alessia Utica. I don't know how you pronounce that. I'm sorry. But Alessia Utica Star, nice to see you. Thanks for the support. I'm just giving a Joe take today, my opinion on Tele-Viper with Flight Pod. So I'm going to switch to the other camera so we can get a better look at these classified figures. Now, I do have another light, but it just doesn't seem to highlight the areas I really wanted to. But this Tele-Viper is pretty cool. And like I said, the difference between it and the vintage is the sleeves, really. Other than that, they're pretty much the same. If I can go the right way. But there's a reason they designed the new one with the sleeves. It's because they had the different heads. So if you put the African-American helmet on, it didn't matter which arms you had. So that's why they did it that way. The same with the Python version, which I will show you in a bit. But I want to give you a closer look at this flight pod. Good. We did kind of look at the Python one. I'll put it up here again. But there's the back with the fan blades. And I like the newer design of this classified version. This is a very cool version. I do like the fact that this goes down a little further, so you can have a lot more space to put the figure in. I'm getting used to this camera angle. So what's cool is it has these seat belts, this strap. So you once you put the figure in, you can actually snap it together. It's not easy to snap this together, especially with my big old fingers. But once you snap it together, the figure's in there pretty tight, and he won't come out no matter how much you move it around and play with it. And then, of course, that goes down when the pilot is in place. Now, I'm going to show you the Python version of it. There is not much different in the figure other than the colors, and I'll give you a little look. I like the African American one for the Python, and the Caucasian one for the normal version, because that's more classic, and that's the classic one. But this one looks really cool. And I like the design. I like the way this is all set up. The only thing I'm disappointed in is the drone that comes with it. Does not fit in the pilot seat, so it can be turned into a drone itself. And of course, I knocked my Tele-Viper over. Couldn't have a Joe Takes without knocking something over. I do like the missiles, the way they have them set up, and I'll show you that on the normal version. Got my Tele-Viper and put him right here so you guys can see him. Hello, Ian. How you doing? Homestead and rural France. It is good to see you, mate. How you doing? I'm just comparing the vintage to the classified Tele-Viper right now, and then I will give my take on the figure and the character, as it were. Now, like I said, these missiles have these little ports that are supposed to snap off, but they don't. Once they're pegged in, they stay in there pretty good, and it doesn't stay in here better. I was thinking about gluing them in there, and maybe that'll work, because you can take the missile off this little pod and the peg that goes in there, so it's just a missile by itself, and it's very similar to the original design of the original flight pod, as you can see. So we've got the bigger one and the smaller one. Let's see. What do you got to say here? Sorry. We got Jess Laws in the house too. Good to see you, mate. Yeah, loving your explanation of these. Cool, thanks. I'm glad. I love sharing my my collection with everybody. Yes, I'm playing with my toys online, Jess. How you doing today? You didn't get enough sleep, did you? You know what? I think I did. I think I'm good. But I might take a nap before spine ticks, that's for sure. See, that just pegs right back in there. But once you put the missile on, it doesn't stay in there very well. So I was thinking about gluing it in there, because once you put the missile on there, it just comes off the peg and comes right out. And there may be a way to snap that in there better, but I haven't figured it out yet. And these are expensive toys, so I'm not gonna break them just to put the missile peg in better. All right, now that is the figures. And let me know if anybody wants a better look. But I'm gonna pop myself back up here and actually turn that camera off for now. Get it out of the way. So that is the vintage figure compared to the classified figure, and the box art, the card art. And one more time, I'll show off the card art from the original, because I have it with the file card. That it was cut from right here. And I can do this really. And this was cut clean off there, so the file card looks really good. Give you a better look. And like I said, I have. Let's see, Jess says I want to go back to sleep, but I can't. Once I start doing these, I really can't. Let's see. Ian says I have to catch Spine Ticks tomorrow in my time zone. That's cool. I don't blame you. Spine Ticks is on pretty late here in the U.S. too. But I'm a night owl myself, so it's all good. So here's the close-up version. Now I'll show you the difference. I'm going to take it off the screen there. This is from the 1986 release of the Tele-Viper. And originally it had this kind of a peach tan color background, and then they swapped it up for the gray, which I don't know which one I like better, but as you can see, the picture is the same, the text is the same, everything's the same except for the background. So this is the version I have, is from the 86, but I actually do have 85 versions, because I have 3 Tele-Vipers and a Python Tele-Viper. So I actually technically have 4 Tele-Vipers in the vintage and 2 in the classified. I have one of the regular release and then the Python release, Python Patrol release. Then again, I have the blueprints, which come with the flight pod, how to put it together and everything. And I thought this was really nice. And then of course you have the blueprints again. And I do have a pic of it, but I couldn't really find a clean pic. I was going to scan it and forgot to, but I'm so good at this. But I'm just a dude who shares stories on YouTube, so I'm not a professional video photographer or anything, but I'm getting better, and I'm trying to do things for you. Now, Tele-Viper as a character, he's a troop builder, so that's where we're at with that. It could be anybody. You can have Tele-Viper be your neighbor. He could be people you don't know from different countries. He could be, Tele-Vipers can be anybody. That's why I like the way they did the classified design. So you could have one that's Caucasian or one that's African American. If they'd included a Latino head or an Asian head, that would have been perfect. But I know that sounds a little racist, but I'm not trying to be racist. But it's excellent info, mate. Okay, thank you. I try. I really do. Now, Larry Hama, the creator of the comics, didn't really differentiate the troopers all that much. They were just there. Some of them had their moments, but I don't think Tele-Viper ever had his moment in the comic book. And so as far as I don't have any examples of the comics out because it wasn't a big deal in the comic. Tele-Viper, he was technically the first Viper, but yet he wasn't a Viper. Vipers didn't come out until 1986, and the whole idea of making them all Vipers didn't really take off until in 1987 when they came out with the Techno Viper, and then they started all of that. Let me see. Jess says, I understand what you understand or you don't. I hope you understand. So anyway, he was a trooper. Cobra troopers, there were no Vipers when he came out. So he has the same Cobra blue, plus he has the purple accents on his flak jacket, and I love the silver visor. Now in a cartoon, he actually had a bit. Let me see if I can show you this. I have on the thumbnail I have for the video. Let me put that up there. Yeah, in order to do that, I'm going to put it up there. Now, right in the middle of that is the Tele-Viper from one of the animated episodes, and words when they would speak would go across the screen. It was pretty. It was. See where it says intruder there? Yeah, I should have had both pick and backdrop up. Let's see. I know you aren't being racist. Okay, fine. I don't really have a racist bone in my body. I don't understand the inclination. Although I did have a family that, well, not my siblings or anything, but I grew up in a home that was normal. Okay, and it wasn't that they were hateful or anything. It's the way they were brought up. Let's see. Ian says, I'm following what you're saying, mate, and maybe Jess needs to watch the other Cobra video you did. That was good too. Thank you. This is Joe Takes 48, so I've done a bunch of these, but it's your standard Tele-Viper. He's communications. He does anything. Back then, he was the one who did computers. They never really brought out a computer specialist for Cobra that I'm aware of. I'm sure they had them, but basically the Tele-Vipers filled that role as well as communications. And so that was the counter to G.I. Joe's mainframe, who came out in 1986, the year after when they started the Vipers. But I see Tele-Viper as a trooper, and he worked with the troopers or the Vipers the same, but he filled the same role, whether they were using troopers or whether they were using Vipers. But like I said, in the comic book, Larry Hama just saw them all as troopers, all Vipers. Whatever, it was all the same thing to him. I kind of have a little differential where the troopers are kind of like the elite and the Vipers are like the standard infantry for Cobra. like a badge of honor. Oh, I'm a trooper. I could be a trooper or a Viper, and I have differentiated uh, what the trooper is and what he is as a Viper, and I've got into all that because I have a headcanon, and I've written some GI Joe stories, and I'm just super into GI Joe. As he just says, I don't normally watch these because I'm not that interested in GI Joe. That's okay, Jess. I mean, not everybody is. I mean, Tiger's 7 feet away from me, snoozing away. So sometimes she joins me in the chat, but not often. This is not really her thing, and I get it. You know, she does Pokemon and Lego. That's not really my thing. I get it. There is a lot of things that we do like together, like gaming and doing our Fridays live stream. We both love that. We both love making music. We both love music. So you find the things that you both like. I just like hanging out with Logan and Tiger. I guess she's napping. Yeah, she's napping. I tried to get her to wake up and join in the chat, but she's not having it this morning. But I'm glad you like hanging out with us. Now, the Sunbow cartoon was a little different for Tele-Viper because he was actually regularly featured, especially in the first season. Not so often with the flight pod in the first season. However, in the G.I. Joe movie, my music is excellent. Well, thank you. I use an AI program called Sudo.com. And this song right here is called, I named the Trouble Bubble. And it's something I AI generated and then edited to make it match Cobra more in the genre. Most of the time, for short videos, I don't really write a lot of the material. Some of them I do. But most of my songs, I write the full lyrics because that's what I do. I'm a writer. And that's just how I roll. But like I said, the most prominent appearance of the Tele-Viper was in G.I. Joe the movie in the beginning, opening sequence right after the intro, which is the greatest intro ever made for G.I. Joe. And, you know, I don't mind G.I. Joe the movie. I know a lot of people hate on it, but whatever. But at the beginning, they had the Tele-Viper flying and I should just do the example here and just have the flight pod in my hand and I had the flight pod with the Tele-Viper in it. He was flying up and it showed him close up, and they had this really cool sound effect for the jet engines on it. It was really well done, and it was probably the best they ever showed with it. And then of course there was a scene where one of the Tele-Vipers got decked in the face by, I'm pretty sure it was Sergeant Slaughter, but it might have been one of the Renegades. It's been a while since I watched that movie. Again, not one of my favorites. I usually watch the series about once every year. I haven't got around to it this year yet. I've been doing so much other things, but as far as the character itself and where he falls in the Cobra hierarchy, he's one step above a Viper. And the reason for that is he's a specialist, and Vipers are just your generic infantry. Now, a lot of Vipers carry communication equipment, but they are not a specialized communications officer. They don't have the know-how to hook up and connect all that stuff. They use the equipment. That's all they do. Basic Vipers anyway, and troopers. Now the Tele-Viper, totally different story. They use the equipment, they hook it up, they program it, they do all that stuff, and they're the tech guys for Cobra. Now the Techno-Vipers came out and kind of filled a larger role because they do all of that as well, plus the mechanical aspect. Techno-Vipers actually fix everything too. So I think that a Tele-Viper, the progression goes right up to a Techno-Viper, which in my head canon, that's where it falls. Tele-Viper, then Techno-Viper. And that's Cobra's advanced, just like in the regular U.S. military or any other military. And that's just the normal part of life. If you don't give them progression, they're not going to want to continue in your army, or pay grade a bump, where they get increases in pay. You can't run an army and not offer advancement. Otherwise, there's no incentive. And Cobra is all about incentive. So they gave them the illusion that they could rise in rank. So you go from a Tele-Viper to a Techno-Viper. And the Techno-Viper just had to know more and more training. That's the same with their Cobra Navy, where you start with the underwater trooper, then you've got the eel, then you have the lampreys, and it's just a progression. And it's just a normal part of a military. So I think Cobra was a lot more well structured than the military aspect of it, than their hierarchy. Their hierarchy is kind of all over the place, their leadership. But the troopers were pretty well structured and organized, and Cobra Commander had a vision of how to do that. Now, Serpentor, when he came in, he just took what Cobra Commander had and used it. So he didn't even have to do anything because Cobra Commander was smart. That's why he left him in charge of all that. In the cartoon, at least. In the comic, it was a totally different story. But Tele-Vipers, Techno-Viper sounds fun. Yes, and you know what? I for Cobra Convergence 6, I had a video I made for that, which is I consider that Joe Takes Zero. I did look at some of my old vintage Techno-Vipers, but I do have the Techno-Vipers for classified now. And at some point, I will be doing a Techno-Viper troop builder, but the next Cobras I'm going to be taking a look at are going to be in July as part of Cobra Convergence 8, which I am on the schedule for that. And it may be the last Cobra Convergence because the founder has retired from doing all this kind of G.I. Joe stuff, which is cool. He's been doing it for over a decade, and he's a cool guy. Who had a Cobra Commander 788. Now, when I do that, yeah, I'm going to be doing the Crimson Guard and plus a lot of other stuff. That's going to be a really special Joe Takes video. That's going to be Joe Takes 50. So before I do anything else, that's my take on Tele-Viper. But before I take off, I got some videos I want to show you. First of all, I'm going to show you my on Joe Takes 48 and all the Tele-Viper stuff, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do a bit more. Yeah, those sound good, mate. Yeah, Techno-Viper is awesome, and I can't wait to do that, and I can't wait to do the Crimson Guard video, which is my next Cobra video. Hey, Bert, nice to see you. Bert's other support channel, Crimson Guard. Now you are swelling my nethers, and then he's saying hi to everybody. Well, it's great to see you, Bert. Now that's going to be in July as part of Cobra Convergence 8. I am on the schedule for Cobra Convergence 8 on July 27th. And so that'll be a Saturday. That'll be a Joe Take just like this one. Next month I'm going to be doing a little different, but after I come back and show you a bunch of stuff here, since I'm live and it's daytime, I'm going to add some content to this live video here today. Can't wait to see you tonight, Logan. Oh, you know what, Bert, man, I can't wait to see you, buddy. Spine Tick should be fun. And I'll give the Spine Ticks train another shout out. The schedule is linked, is pinned in the chat, and it's also in the description. Now, the only thing that's not in the pinned comment is that 11 p.m. where it ends. That's where the Spine Tick starts, and that's all Eastern time. Pacific would be at 8 p.m. So 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. That's when Spine Tick start. But all those other shows starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. That's the Spine Ticks train. So check everybody out. We got a Sydney Cat in the chat. You will do a mohawk. Well, we're doing a Star Trek theme on Spine Ticks tonight, so that should be cool. And Tiger and I are going to be on the panel, so definitely check out Spine Ticks. Links are in the description for sure for all of those. Sydney Cat saying hello, and everybody saying hi back. Oh my God, Bert, they just said it's so hot in Mexico, monkeys are falling out of trees. They probably are. Jess Laws is in the chat. I think Tiger might be waking up a little bit. She might join us because we're going to be on here about another 15, 20 minutes. Yeah, you will be Zartan. Well, Zartan had an orange mohawk. Are you sure you're going to rock that, Bert? Let's see. I wanted to do G.I. Joe. Damn it. So I am Zartan. G.I. Joe. G.I. No. Okay. I get you. Can't wait to watch that live in my morning. Cool. Hope to see you in the chat there, Ian. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put on the video on Joe Takes 48. That's all about the Tele-Viper. And then I'm going to come back and I have some other stuff to show you. So here is on Joe Takes 48.
Riding high the sky. Tele-Viper in the flight pod. A cobra force like no other, spreading fear. Shaking the side with my shades on, I scan the airwaves. I receive it all. Communications officer, transmitting Cobra's call. Wolf of chaos, trouble's my middle name. In the trouble bubble, I bring them all disdain. Flying fearless, soaring through the clouds above. Cobra's secret weapon spreading mayhem without any love. I navigate the chaos, my fingers on the controls. The trouble bubble, a sight that unfolds. With a wicked grin, I disrupt peace and grace. For Cobra's techno genius, causing G.I. Joe trouble all over the place. With my battle cry attack, Cobra, Sabora, second nature, light disrupt peace and grace. Cobra's techno genius, causing G.I. Joe trouble all over the place. With my battle cry attack, I attack. Cobra, 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 Sabora, second nature, light disrupt peace and grace. Cobra's techno genius, causing G.I. Joe trouble all over the place. With my battle cry attack, I attack. He's the hissing pilot, wild weasel, so sleek with a devil-like charm and a voice so unique. In his mad legit, he takes to that legit, he takes to the sky, shooting down enemies without a reason why. He's the hissing pilot, wild weasel, so sleek with a devil-like charm and a voice so unique. In his mad legit, he takes to that legit, he takes to the sky, shooting down enemies without a reason why. Yeah, he's in high, flying low. Wild weasel's got that Cobra flow. With skill and precision, he reigns supreme, a rebel in the air, leaves in his dream. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's because I'm muted. Isn't that lovely? So, yes. Thank you, Jess. Was the music? I was muted. No, I haven't. I've seen all of Fallout. That's all I was saying. But I haven't played the game. That's all I was really saying. Check it out. Check that out tonight. It's worth a watch if you're into that kind of stuff, Ian. But it's definitely violent and brutal. So be prepared. It has some really, really vivid content. Yeah. Thank you, Cindy Cat. I think I fixed it because I was muted. Well, why are you not yelling, Logan? Well, it's only music. Yeah. I think blink twice if you need help. No, I don't need help. I'm good. So you guys can hear me now, right? I think I was just muted. Okay, so what I decided to share with you guys today was I wanted to start with all the Cobra ticks that I wanted to include those in Joe takes that I've shared with my kids. I've never really had them in the Joe takes, and I thought maybe they should be. But in order to catch you up, show the first Joe Ticks. So I'm going to have Joe Ticks 1, Joe Ticks bloopers for Joe Ticks 2 bloopers, and then Joe Ticks 2, the cleaned up version. And then I have Cobra Ticks 1. So I was going to show all 4 of those videos. They're not very long. Not like some of the newer ones I've done. Yep. Thanks, guys. You are a survival instructor, ex-combat medic, and airborne, so not much phases you. Okay, good. I was 4F, so I couldn't serve, but a lot of my family around me served. My uncle was in the Navy. My wife's uncle was definitely an Army medic, just like you, but for U.S., and he served in Vietnam, and he passed away 3 years back. Yeah, but he was a great guy, and we miss him a lot. He was basically my uncle, too. Let's see. Ian is going back. He's going to be okay with the content of Fallout. Okay, cool. And you'll love it because it's a badass show, and like I said, it's made me think about watching playing the video game because I've seen other people play it a little bit. It looks really cool. All right, so the first one I have for you, I'll have to click off this hiss and ha music, is Joe Ticks 1, and we didn't really know what we're doing with it. I just wanted to send something to Spine Ticks, so this was the first thing I ever sent to Spine Ticks, was Joe Ticks 1.
The line is Joe Ticks. That's right, Joe Ticks.
Go.
Joe Ticks. Funny.
I got better at doing voices.
Joe
I was
Joe
doing
Ticks.
Oh, here we go again. Lollygagging and picture taking.
Just say the line already.
Oh, Joe Ticks. Joe Ticks. I know you're there, Gung-Ho. Go ahead and say your line. Joe Ticks already.
Joe Ticks.
Yo, Joe Ticks.
Go.
That's Joe Ticks. I mean, Joe Ticks. On From the Hilt. Logan out.
Yeah, that was my first attempt at doing anything like that. We had done some voiceovers and stuff, but that's the first one we did. And then for the next month, we sent Spine Ticks this one. We were gonna send. We didn't send you the bloopers, but I'm gonna show you the bloopers first because then I'll show you Joe Ticks 2, which is the full take. And the bloopers were us my whole family was doing it. Tiger and I did the voices in the first one. She did Polly and Lady J. I did the rest. But my boys helped out with this one.
Boom.
Joe Takes.
Did you just say Joe Takes?
Yeah, he did. He did. That's another blooper.
Joe Takes. Joe Tits.
Did you say that on purpose?
We were just being
Joe
silly.
Tits.
Joe Takes.
Sega. Joe Takes.
These were fun to do, so I thought I'd share our process.
Joe Ticks. Oh, shit, sorry.
Joe Takes.
Joe Ticks? Joe Ticks. Joe Ticks.
Joe Takes.
Joe Takes. Joe Takes. I can't remember this dude's name.
Oh, you forgot my name? That's rough.
See, that one was that's like I said. This is the perfect take that I said to Spine Ticks.
Joe Takes.
Joe Ticks? Joe Ticks.
Joe Takes. Joe Takes.
Joe Takes. Joe Takes. What the heck?
Yeah, it was even better than the last one.
That's because I'm directing it. Timber, you were perfect. Snake Eyes, you're a bit flat.
Sounds are for Joe Takes on From the Hilt, and Joe Ticks on Spine Ticks. That was the second one we sent him, and yeah, it was better, and we actually got, everybody said all the lines are really good on that one. So naturally, the whole idea of that in G.I. Joe's head was to mess with Cobra Commander to get him to try and counter what they were doing. So this was Cobra Ticks 1. Now, in the next Joe Takes, I'm going to play Joe Takes 3. And then for the Crimson Guard video, I'll play Cobra Ticks 3. So I'll be in sequence. But I wanted to catch up, and I didn't think about doing it last month in my Clutch video. So here is Cobra Ticks, number 1.
Oh, what is going on, Destro, with this Spine Ticks stuff? Joe's saying Joe Ticks?
It's quite simple, Commander. We just have all the troops
Yeah,
say Cobra Ticks instead of Joe Ticks.
Cobra Ticks? I like it. Everyone will say Cobra Ticks. Meredith, make them do it.
You heard the commander. You all say Cobra Ticks.
I think Tiger does a really good Meredith voice.
Cobra Ticks?
We definitely got better at doing these videos.
Cobra Ticks.
Cobra Ticks. Cobra Ticks.
We were all doing voices for this one too.
Cobra
Ticks.
Yeah, Tiger just threw out that in just for fun.
Cobra Ticks, you know the line.
Cobra Ticks.
Cobra Ticks.
There's only one thing left to say now. Dreadnought Ticks!
You numbskull! It's Cobra Ticks!
Cobra Commander, the Great Snake rules forever.
At least someone has some loyalty.
And that's kind of where we ended that one. So like I said, next month I will play the next Joe Ticks. And then in the Crimson Guard video, I'll play Joe Cobra Ticks too. So I'll be in sequence after that. So I wanted to catch them up so I could add them to my Joe Takes. Thought I'd have fun doing that with you guys today. Everybody saying hi. Thank you, Ian. I appreciate that. Those were our rough drafts, really. Joe Takes 4 and Cobra Joe Ticks 4 and Cobra Ticks 3 are really good. And the newest one we did, Cobra Ticks 5, Double Down with Dusty. That's my favorite one yet, and we just keep having fun with it and doing better and better. All right, I have one more thing for you today, and we need a changing of the guard here because next month I just wanted to tell you what was going on next month for G.I. Joe. So we're gonna put that up there, and I'm gonna show you. Let me get my screen off the screen here. So I'm going to show you the pick, and then I'm going to play Heroes of the Battlefield for you. And I'm going to sign off by showing you what's coming up next month. Let's see. We got Matrix keeps glitching. Are you an AI version of Logan? No, I'm not. I think StreamYards is doing some funny things today because I had a lot of stuff lined up. And usually when I do that, sometimes it doesn't work as well. But yeah, I see what you're talking about, Jess. I don't know why it's doing that, but it could be my internet, could be a lot of different things. But on that note, I will be in the chat for a little bit as I show this stuff off and play the song Heroes of the Battlefield. AI Logan. Let's see, AI Logan, new voices. Okay. Here, I'm going to put the song on, Heroes of the Battlefield. And then I'm going to show you who's coming up next month, and I'll be in the chat until the song's over, and then we'll get out.
Dedication, a mission, united to protect and defend, fighting for justice. till the very end. Nation united to protect and defend, fighting for justice till the very end. Brave soldiers, we stand tall, marching forward, one and all. Together we'll conquer, we won't back down. Nothing can stop us, we wear the crown. We are the heroes of the battlefield.